Beneath the polished veneer of fashion and finance, beyond the gleam of glass towers and the ceaseless thrum of commerce, another Milan exists. It is a city of whispers and shadows, a place of Gothic alleys and dramatic memories, concealed in plain sight from the millions who walk its streets believing they know it.
Deep below the magnificent iron and glass vault of the Stazione Centrale, away from the grand theatre of arrivals and departures, lies a place untouched by the daily rush. Here, a different track waits in silence. This is Platform 21. During the darkest chapter of the 20th century, this subterranean siding was not a point of departure for hopeful journeys, but a gateway to oblivion. From this cold, hidden platform, thousands of Jewish Italians were sealed into freight cars and dispatched to the concentration camps of Auschwitz-Birkenau and Mauthausen.
To walk these tunnels today is to feel the chilling echo of a painful past. The air itself seems heavy with unspoken histories, with the final, faint whispers of those forced aboard. Now a memorial, the space is a testament to memory's refusal to fade. The dim light catches on rusted iron and stark concrete, surfaces that seem to hold a story that no history book can convey with such visceral intensity. Each footstep on the cold ground is a step into a collective wound, a confrontation with a city's scar, deliberately preserved so that it may never be forgotten.
From the city's modern wounds, we move to its ancient anxieties. Just a stone's throw from the soaring, sunlit spires of the Duomo, an unassuming church door opens onto a reality few are prepared for. This is San Bernardino alle Ossa. Beyond its modest nave lies the ossuary chapel, a space that confronts the visitor with the stark, unavoidable fact of mortality.
The walls are not adorned with frescoes or marble, but with human bones. Thousands upon thousands of skulls, tibias, and femurs have been arranged into intricate geometric patterns, forming macabre mosaics that climb from floor to ceiling. Rosettes of femurs frame the doorways. Cornices of skulls line the vaults. This is not a place of horror, but one of profound, unsettling contemplation. Born from the practical necessity of clearing an overflowing cemetery centuries ago, it has become a unique work of Baroque art. The hollow sockets of 1,000 skulls serve as silent witnesses, gazing down upon all who enter, a powerful memento mori in the heart of a city obsessed with life. From the industrial tomb of Platform 21 to the Baroque embrace of the ossuary, Milan reveals that its true character is etched not just in stone, but in bone and iron. These are not mere tourist sites. They are profound dialogues with the past, demanding a silence and a presence that the bustling city above rarely allows. To truly know a place is not to see its monuments, but to feel the weight of its ghosts.
In the face of death, all distinctions dissolve. Rank, origin, wealth, they become meaningless dust.
This is the silent sermon preached by the walls of San Bernardino alle Ossa, an ossuary born from a city grappling with its own mortality. Centuries ago, when consecrated ground could no longer contain its dead, a solution was found. One that was both practical and profoundly spiritual. The bones of the forgotten were exhumed and brought here, not to be hidden, but to be arranged into a breathtaking, macabre architecture of remembrance.
To cross the threshold is to step out of time. The air grows still, heavy with a sense of quiet reverence that borders on unease. For some, it is a grim curiosity, a spectacle to be captured and quickly forgotten. But for others, the experience is transformative. It is a mystical space that forces a direct confrontation with the fragile, fleeting nature of existence. To walk through the chapel is to move through a dimension where the human form has been deconstructed and reassembled into art. Thousands of skulls stare from the walls, a silent congregation whose vacant gazes form intricate geometric patterns.
Tibias, femurs, and vertebrae are woven into rosettes and crosses, a testament to a faith that sees even in our final skeletal state a potential for order and beauty.
Though the sight may be unsettling, its message is one of ultimate fraternity. Each bone, stripped of its identity, becomes part of a greater whole, a stark reminder that we all share the same fate. Here, in this strange sanctuary, the boundaries between faith, art, and superstition blur into a single powerful meditation on what it means to be alive and what it means to leave a part of oneself behind. From this stark confrontation with human remains, our journey descends, moving from the explicit record of death to the more subtle echoes of history buried deep beneath the city. Many who walk the historic heart of Milan know the Church of San Sepolcro, a landmark standing near the Ambrosiana Art Gallery. Yet few ever venture into its viscera, where a crypt holds centuries of subterranean history. Its origins stretch back to the Paleo-Christian era, a foundation upon which subsequent ages have built, altered, and left their mark.
A flight of worn stone steps is the only passage, and each step is a movement away from the present. The clamor of the city above vanishes, replaced by a profound, muffled silence. Down here, the air is cool and still. A spare, suffused light reveals the ghosts of frescoes clinging to ancient walls, their colors muted by the passage of more than 1,000 years. One can trace the outlines of Roman stones, the sturdy grace of medieval columns, and the delicate touch of later restorations, all coexisting in a mosaic of time. It was this very space that Leonardo da Vinci, a man who understood the anatomy of both man and city, is said to have considered the true center of Milan, its geometric and spiritual core.
To walk on this pavement, polished by the passage of medieval pilgrims and forgotten priests, is to feel the weight of their devotion. The stones themselves seem to breathe, exhaling the memory of ancient chants and whispered prayers. During archaeological excavations, inscriptions and artifacts were unearthed, confirming the site's sacred importance from the earliest days of Christianity in the region. Occasionally, a drop of water, having filtered down through the earth and the foundations of the modern city, will fall from the vaulted ceiling, its solitary echo in the stone a buried world. For a moment, the frantic metropolis disappears, leaving only this quiet dialogue with the stones and the secrets they keep.
But not all of Milan's secrets lie buried. Some stand in plain sight, hidden only by our own hurried gaze. On a quiet street, a short walk from the grandeur of La Scala, the facade of a building arrests the eye with an unnerving power. It is the Casa degli Omenoni, the house of the great men. Leaning against the walls are 8 colossal male figures, carved from stone yet seeming to strain with living muscle. They are Herculean, their expressions severe, their powerful bodies serving as pillars. These are the Omenoni, titans captured in stone, their unblinking eyes staring out over the generations that have passed beneath them. They are not mere decoration, they are declarations of power and permanence, silent, unyielding sentinels in a city of constant motion.
To witness them is to understand that a city is a palimpsest, a text written and rewritten over centuries where layers of meaning lie just beneath the surface. From the skeletal poetry of an ossuary to the sacred silence of a crypt to the stoic faces carved into a palace wall, the past is not gone. It persists, waiting for a moment of stillness, for an eye willing to see beyond the present. It is in these hidden corners that the true character of a place is found. A timeless dialogue between what was, what is, and what will forever endure. In the heart of Milan, a city defined by its forward momentum,
there stands a facade from another age. Conceived in the 16th century, it is known as the Casa degli Amenini, the House of the Big Men. It was the personal declaration of the sculptor Leone Leone, a master of Milanese mannerism, a man who worked for emperors and kings. Yet, for all its grandeur, it remains one of the city's most profound secrets, a stone book whose pages are rarely opened.
Whispers cling to its walls, ancient legends suggesting that behind the unblinking gaze of its stone guardians lie the veiled truths of the Leone family. Here, it is said, the intrigues of the Habsburg court, the rivalries with other artists, and the tempestuous ambitions of its creator are held in silent custody. To walk beneath the 8 colossal caryatids that support the upper floor is to feel the weight of their judgment. They are not mere decoration, they are a council of titans, their chiseled muscles straining under an invisible burden, their expressions a study in stoic endurance. They have witnessed 5 centuries of history unfold on this very street, and they reveal nothing.
In more recent times, the life of the palace has continued within its private walls, hosting cultural gatherings and exclusive events. Historical accounts speak of discoveries made in its chambers, period documents, forgotten letters, and personal artifacts that have offered fleeting but invaluable glimpses into the soul of Renaissance Milan. These fragments help piece together the narrative of a city at the zenith of its artistic and political power.
To the casual passerby, the facade remains an enigma. Its sheer theatrical imposition feels alien amidst the surroundage of time. It is an anomaly, a disruption in the urban fabric that forces a pause. For the attentive soul, the eye drawn to detail, it is an irresistible puzzle. One cannot help but stop, to trace the lines of the carvings, to attempt a translation of the silent language spoken by these figures of stone.
On the rarest of occasions, when fortune allows, its great doors swing open to the public. To step inside is to discover a hidden world, a sanctuary of quiet courtyards, elegant loggias, and intricate sculptural details, all bearing the signature of Leone's genius. It is a place that rewards the seeker, a testament to how a single building can encapsulate an entire universe of artistic vision and human drama. A story of ambition written in stone and shadow. From the private secrets of a single house, we turn to the collective memory of an entire city, memorialized in a place often overlooked, the Cimitero Monumentale. The name is known to many, but the idea of a visit, of a deliberate pilgrimage to this city of the dead, occurs to few. And yet, to dismiss it is to ignore one of Europe's most magnificent open-air museums. It is a labyrinth of chapels, sculptures, and monuments that chronicles the story not just of Milan, but of Italy itself.
Crossing the grand entrance, the Famedio, or Hall of Fame, one enters a realm governed by silence and artistry. A great central avenue unfolds, flanked by monumental tombs that would not be out of place in the world's most prestigious galleries. Here, the history of art is told in a single, breathtaking sweep. The severe grace of neoclassicism stands beside the sinuous, organic lines of Art Noume's outstretched as if poised for an impossible flight into the Lombardy sky. Every corner, every path, reveals the work of celebrated artists, a silent congress of masters. But the story does not end with form. The Monumentale is saturated with symbolism, a lexicon of human experience etched into every surface. It is a place of stories, of love and loss, of industrial power and artistic struggle, of grief and the defiant hope of rebirth. Here lie the architects of the city's destiny, industrialists, composers, writers, and thinkers. Aristocratic family chapels, opulent and proud, stand as the final outposts of dynasties that shaped the political and cultural life of a nation. Beside them, mysterious sepulchres, veiled in silence, hold stories known only to time. The ultimate power of this place resides in its profound tranquility. An oasis of peace wrested from the clamor of the metropolis just beyond its walls. It is here, among the silent population of stone and bronze, that the noise of the present fades away. What remains is not the sorrow of death, but the enduring echo of life, the indelible mark left by those who came before. It is a reminder that the most enduring stories are not always found in bustling squares or grand museums, but in the quiet places where memory is given form, and where a city's soul is laid bare for all to see.
Milan reveals its past not only in the grand sweep of its cathedrals and palaces, but in its memories of stone. Yet, the most profound of these stories are not carved for all to see. They are hidden, buried deep beneath the clamor of the modern metropolis, waiting in the silence and the dark.
To find them, one must descend.
Beneath the green expanse of Parco Nord, in the city's eastern sector, lie the scars of a more recent, violent history. They are the Breda bunkers, or more precisely, the air raid shelters of the 5th Aeronautical Section. During the Second World War, Milan was an industrial heartland, a prime target for the relentless drumbeat of Allied bombing campaigns. The Breda Company, a titan of engineering, was building the machinery of war, and its workers became frontline civilians. Survival demanded a retreat into the earth.
Across the city, these subterranean refuges were constructed, fortresses of reinforced concrete designed to withstand the fury raining from the skies. Today, their entrances are often anonymous, concealed behind rusted grates or unassuming doorways, many now sealed by time and indifference. They are inaccessible voids, silent monuments to a collective trauma.
Yet, a few have been reclaimed from the darkness. On rare occasions, gates are opened, and the public is invited to step back into the city's most fearful hours. To walk these tunnels is to understand the true meaning of the word refuge. The air is still and cold, heavy with the scent of damp concrete and history. The corridors are narrow, designed for utility, not comfort. Faded paint on the walls still designates sections, for women, for children, for the wounded. Here, society tried to maintain its order, even as the world above was being torn apart. One can almost hear the echoes, the muffled thunder of explosions, the cries of infants, the hushed prayers of those huddled together, united by a singular, desperate hope for the morning. But these concrete veins are merely the most recent layer. Go deeper into the city's historic core, beneath the foundations of ancient palazzos and Renaissance courtyards, and you will find a different kind of underworld. Here lie the secret passages of a much older Milan. For centuries, this was a city of intrigue and conspiracy. Noble families, locked in bitter rivalries, required discreet pathways. Religious orders sought to move unseen. Clandestine groups plotted in the shadows. They achieved this through a hidden network of tunnels, a web of dark arteries connecting the cellars of the powerful. These were not shelters from an external enemy, but conduits for ambition, secrecy, and escape. Little of this network remains intact. Most passages have been bricked up, their purpose forgotten. But every so often, during the renovation of a centuries-old building, a construction crew breaks through a wall and finds not solid earth, but a void. They uncover a dark, narrow corridor, a steep stone staircase spiraling down to a level of the city that no longer officially exists.
Today, these fragments of a secret geography lie dormant beneath the feet of unsuspecting shoppers and diners. An entrance might be found at the back of a restaurant's wine cellar, another sealed behind a wall in the basement of a luxury boutique. The stories attached to them are the lifeblood of Milanese legend. They speak of smugglers moving salt, a commodity once so heavily taxed by the Duchy of Milan that an illicit trade flourished in the darkness. They whisper of the Carbonari, the secret societies who fanned the first flames of Italian unification, holding their revolutionary meetings in the safety of the earth. These two subterranean worlds tell the story of the city's soul. One was born of a shared public terror,
a place where an entire populace sought shelter together. The other was forged from private power, a labyrinth of individual secrets and clandestine designs. One is a wound from a world war, the other, a scar from centuries of political maneuvering. Together, they form an unseen map of Milan's fears and its ambitions. They remind us that the identity of a place is shaped as much by what it hides as by what it displays. It is a city built not only on foundations, but on secrets.
Beneath the hurried footfalls of fashion and finance, another Milan breathes. Below the grand palazzos and the crowded sidewalks, a line between reality and legend begins to blur. Here, in the deep foundations of the city, a hidden world waits.
It is a realm of profound mystery, devotion, and memory,
concealed just inches from the light. To descend below its surface is to discover a labyrinth of forgotten stories, where skeletons bear silent witness to a distant past, and sacred crypts whisper of events long since faded from view.
For in this darkness, the oldest heart of Milan still beats, a pulse that tells not only of who its people once were, but of the enduring mystery of what they might yet become.